dating Vietnamese women as a foreigner. This is today's topic, so make sure you stick around. Xin chào. Hey, this is Marcel with another video, and today I have a hot topic. All what I will share in this video about dating Vietnamese women are observations, are based on my observations I have made and also what I have learned during my time here in Vietnam, based on talks with conversations with Vietnamese men, of course conversations with Vietnamese women, and also through dating Vietnamese women. So these things I share are based on these things. They are observations. I'm not giving really dating advice here. I don't want to do that, because there are still many things to learn also for me, and I might be generalizing also here in this video, so please don't feel offended or upset. You know how it is, I don't know every or any Vietnamese woman or girl in person, right? So of course we tend to generalize, but again, this is based on my own personal observations and what I have learned so far. Of course, I'm open for comments, suggestions, and anything you want to share. Yeah, also for the other viewers, especially men. This video is especially for men, for foreign men who are interested to come to Vietnam and even are interested to date Vietnamese women. Okay, so long story short, let's start. First important question is, are Vietnamese women actually open to date foreign men? And this question can be answered with a big fat yes. This is absolutely the case. Vietnamese women are actually very open to date foreigners. There is a stereotype going around in Vietnam, like in any other country. In Germany we have stereotypes about Asian people, so Vietnamese people have stereotypes about Western foreign men or Westerners in general. So also these Vietnamese people, they generalize, But we can conclude, we know that these stereotypes Vietnamese women have about Western men are rather on the positive side. No, we are considered trustworthy and generous among others. And by the way, this is for the Vietnamese women who are watching this video. If you don't agree with anything, or if you think you have to add, please do so in the comments. I'm really eager to improve my knowledge about this topic, because I find it fascinating, because it's a lot of stuff for me also to learn. So Western men are considered, what I've learned, trustworthy and generous. And what actually is our big advantage is our English, our ability to speak English, because English in Vietnam, especially among the younger people, is considered a sign of success. Yeah, we can argue about whether this is logical or common sense, but it is viewed by especially the younger people that when you speak English, you automatically are very successful, and have a lot of money. This is that kind of mindset. Actually, it's misleading. It is not true, but this is the perception, It's actually a generalization in the mind of the Vietnamese people. Yeah, so that's why younger people, I have learned, they consider, or they think when they learn English, and they want to learn English fast, many of them, they think they automatically become rich, which is obviously not true. But anyway, so this is the general observation. This is what we know. You can date these women and they want to date you, okay? So now, there are a few things to consider here. I will go through my list here in a moment. The first thing you have to keep in mind is that Vietnam is not Europe. Obviously, And Vietnam is also not the Philippines. Yeah, I'm mentioning these two areas here because most of the foreigners, the Western foreigners, they have dating experience in the Philippines or in Thailand. Okay, so I would say Thailand and the Philippines, there are many similarities. I have more experience in the Philippines than in Thailand, but I can tell you right off the bat, you have to be aware of this. Vietnam is not the Philippines. And obviously, it's not Europe or America or Australia. The concept of dating and the concept of a relationship and the concept of marriage in Vietnam is it's far different than to Europe. There are, of course, commonalities always, but in the main paradigm is I find totally different than in Europe, where I'm coming from in Germany. If you are a playboy and you think you can play Vietnamese woman, I think it's gonna be difficult. You know, it's not like in the Philippines. You know, I mean, Philippine women, they have their needs and their desires and wants. You know. This is also an Asian country, by the way, but the dating thing is a different game in the Philippines. Also, the English level is different there. And, you know, when we talk about age gap and stuff like that, I also will mention this in a few moments here. But in Vietnam, you have to understand the basic concept basically is, and I might generalize here, but what I learned and observed is that it's not so much when you enter into a relationship, or how to explain this. You know, the main motivation is, so romance is not. Long story short, and I'll ramble on a little bit here. Romance is not so much important than actually viewing the relationship as sharing common goals. Yeah, in a kind of an enterprise. And why is that? Because of the concept. Vietnam is the Vietnamese culture is a Sinitic culture. That means it is highly influenced by the Chinese culture. And in these two cultures, so also in the Vietnamese culture, work, business and family are highly regarded. They are number one. The concept circles around these values. Yeah, family is highly valued, so is business and work, making money, so to speak, just to simplify it, okay? And for a Vietnamese woman, this is like actually also for Western women, but it's even more important for the Vietnamese woman that she is looking for a father, a husband, and a provider. That's the three basically main criteria. Do Vietnamese women care about money? Yes, they do, absolutely. But so do I, and so do other people around the world, right? Of course, Western women or German women also, they are looking, when they are looking for a partner, a dating mate, of course, they also are looking for these attributes, right? They want stability in their partner. They want that their partner, their male partner, is providing stability, economic security, and things like that. But the dynamics are a little bit different in Europe, you know, which is different to Vietnam. Whereas, for example, looks and charm and maybe humor play a bigger role in Europe, it is not so much playing a role in Vietnam, because here really the ability to be the provider and the breadwinner is very crucial for the Vietnamese woman. Are Vietnamese women gold digger? Some sort, yes. So we are all gold diggers, right? Every woman is looking for a partner who can provide, right? But it's in Vietnam a little bit different than, let's say, in other Asian countries. I don't want to names here now. I don't want to name any country names now, but it's not like that Vietnamese girls or women would just are after your money, take it and then run away. No, not like that. But they want to know if you are a stable guy, if you have a stable job, you know, if you have also future prospects. What are your future prospects? You know, can you economically advance also in your job, in your career? This is what's going on in a Vietnamese woman's mind, in my opinion, what I have learned. It's about protecting the ability to protect the family, because the relationship concept in Vietnam is old-fashioned. That's what we say in Europe, you know. Yeah, the man is the breadwinner, he has the job, he works, he brings the money back home, and the woman takes care of the household, yeah, takes care of the family and the children and the cooking and the cleaning and things like that. So before, now some viewers here might get a little bit agitated. Again, you know, general observations, and things also change now in the Vietnamese culture. You know, more and more Western influences are coming, and I'm pretty sure there are some Vietnamese women who are emancipated or want to be emancipated, and they don't want to be a housewife, and they consider it a bad thing even, who knows. It might be the case, but I think the majority of Vietnamese women, and the ones I've talked to and I met and dated, they are very traditional still. And that's how it is. That is the situation in Vietnam, and you have to be able to adopt to that if you want to be successful with Vietnamese women. Yeah? If you don't understand their dating culture and their paradigm, which is actually rooted in their tradition and their culture, you will have great difficulties. You have to understand what Vietnamese women especially do value. Yeah? They do value family. They do value economic advancement and business and work, making money. So, of course, their dating mate or prospective future husband needs to be someone who can provide, you know, and the Vietnamese woman is not interested to marry a loser who cannot handle money, has no money. You know, a woman in general, they always marry up. Correct? So it's the same with Vietnamese women. They want to actually date a guy who is richer, and that's just how it is, okay? Hate it or like it or hate it. This is just the way it is in general, okay? And so this concept is also reflected in the language, which is very interesting, because what I have learned is, and maybe you Vietnamese ladies, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there is, when you say I love you, for example, right, it's not like in English, I love you. So when you literally translate the phrase, the Vietnamese sentence, I love you, it is actually translated, it reads like, older brother cares for younger sister. And that's the perfect description of the entire dating and relationship concept in Vietnam. I think this thing nails it absolutely, and it makes sense that it's somehow reflected in the expression I love you. Yeah, and in Germany also, or in England, in America, we say I love you, but in Vietnam, and also in, I don't know, in China, but in Vietnam it is, when you literally translate it, it's older brother cares for younger sister. And that's the concept. It's about caring, it's about providing. You know, it's a mutual relationship. You know, the older brother cares for his little sister, and the little sister cares for his older brother. It's you see already the philosophy behind this expression. It is more an economic relationship, definitely, rather than a romantic Hollywood-style relationship. You know, I'm not saying that Vietnamese women don't value or don't like humorous guys or good-looking guys or handsome guys. Sure, that to some extent plays a role, and it of course differs from woman to woman. But it is not so much important than like in Western countries. Why is that? One big reason is that Western women are economically more independent. They have, for example, in Germany, we have a very sophisticated education system where you have a when you finish school, you basically enter the vocational training program or vocational training system, which is for every profession there is. You learn it for 2 or 3 years and then you graduate. You do an examination, you get your graduation certificate, and then you can start earning money. Yeah, so even women who let's say get divorced, if they have graduated from a job, they can sustain themselves, they can earn money, they can make money, they can even take care of their kids, of their children, if it is necessary. As sad as it is, if the family broke up, and we have many cases in Germany, it's happening, but the woman can sustain herself, so she's not so much reliable on the man as a breadwinner, okay? But I will not go into this argument now, whether this is good or bad, and emancipation, and I will not touch these topics here. So if you understand that concept, ang you am, so this I love you, brother cares for younger sister concept, then you understand already, or should automatically understand, the needs of Vietnamese women. And it is not very hard to understand and grasp when you also live a while in Vietnam, a certain time, and you look around and see how people live, and you see the economic situation. When you learn to understand the economic situation, then you will also understand that basically the people who live in Vietnam, the way they live is like 70, 80 years ago, how it was in Germany or in Europe, My grandmother, I remember, was also very, very traditional, She was the housewife. There was no question about it. The man was the breadwinner. My grandfather was the guy who worked his ass off. He brought in the money. He brought back the money. He brought the money home, and my grandmother, she took care of 4 children. That was the deal. That was the system. And even I know that this marriage was even arranged kind of in Germany. Yeah, that was the case even in my own family. It's not like 200, 300 years ago. It's just like 2 generations ago. Here in Vietnam and Asia, the dynamics are different because of the culture and the economic situation, because you have to understand that in these parts of the world, relationship really means supporting each other, helping each other, advancing together with each other, also first and foremost economically. I talked to one Vietnamese woman, and she told me that she thinks that love will fade away if financial stability is not ensured anymore by the man. So when I hear this, I was like scratching my head, because in Germany, because that sounds really harsh and rough in my opinion. It sounds really like a gold digging mentality. The woman is just after the money, and if the guy is not bringing money home anymore, then she suddenly will lose her love for him, and then she will disappear. That sounds like that, and maybe it's true. Maybe these women, they think like that, and they do think like that. I hear stories of especially younger girls who are very beautiful and pretty, who know they have a lot of chasers right after them, and they can pick their guys. And if you have like $10 million on your bank account, you're lucky you can date that girl. If this girl meets another man who has like $25 million on her bank account, she's gone. Trust me, you have these women, it's just like it is, hate it or like it, but in general, I would say it's absolutely worthy to date Vietnamese women, because they are a little bit different than other Asian women. In my opinion, they are very disciplined, hardworking, and smart and intelligent. Yeah, this is just, for me, reality, because I see what's going on in this country. Not only now, but also when I worked here about 12 years ago. Yeah? I'm not saying that other Southeast Asian women are not intelligent, smart, and hardworking. I'm not saying that, but here that suits me a little bit better here. So I think, to put it, how to nail this observation is that I think if you, Vietnamese woman, how to explain that? It's great marriage material. Let's put it like this. Yeah, excuse my expression. Marriage material. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but I cannot come up with a better expression now. But so I think if you are able to marry a Vietnamese woman, you're gonna be happy for a very, very long time, because she is probably very committed also. And this is what a Vietnamese woman wants in her partner, right? She wants a trustworthy, quality guy who can commit to a long-term relationship / marriage, who can provide, who can be a good husband, a good father, and provide economic stability. Yeah. So, and since foreigners or Westerners are actually anyway highly regarded in Vietnam, yeah, so the best thing for you is, if you are coming from a first world Western country, and if you are single, yeah, and if you are financially stable, and if you are looking for a long-term relationship or marriage, then you have the best cards in your hand to be very attractive to Vietnamese women, because that's what they're looking for. Yeah, and this is also what you should advertise. You know, always when you date Vietnamese women, you must emphasize that you are financially stable. I'm not talking about bragging how rich you are and this and that, but you have to do it in a smart way. It's like smart marketing and advertising. It is just the way it is here in Vietnam. Again, please learn and understand about this concept here. I try to convey now in this video already for like 24 minutes. Once you understand the concept, you can hate it. Okay, then you have to leave Vietnam. You have to go back to Europe or to another country. Here, that's the way it is. You have to understand the concept, adopt to it, and go for it, you know. And you should advertise this, you know. If you are single, if you are financially stable, you are looking for a long-term relationship / marriage, you have to communicate this to this Vietnamese woman. You have to do it, you know, so that she knows what you're up to. And another thing what you should advertise also is, if you are not gambling, if you're not drinking, that's your best advertisement also. I will not go into the details here. Yeah, Western people also drink. Yeah, but in the mind of a Vietnamese woman, the perception is a little bit different. Vietnamese guys are known for binge drinking and stuff, you know, and Western people are considered, they drink more often, let's say, during the week, but they drink less. So what is better? I don't know. I mean, I don't drink at all, so I don't have that issue. I don't have that problem. I don't need to worry about, but I advertise it, of course, also, you know. Because these ladies also ask me, do you drink? Do you smoke? And I know Vietnamese women, they hate when guys smoke, but they cannot do anything about it, because every Vietnamese man smokes basically. That's just like it is here. But the women, they hate it. They don't like it. Trust me. There is no Vietnamese woman who smokes a cigarette here, except certain girls, but they are working in a different profession, you know what I mean? Hopefully you find these girls smoking, but the normal, traditional, regular Vietnamese woman, she don't smoke. She might be drinking here and there a little bit, but they don't like drinkers. Vietnamese women, they don't like drinkers, they don't like alcoholics, and they don't like gamblers. And they don't like if you visit prostitutes. This is also very common in Vietnamese culture for the men to visit prostitutes. That's a different topic. I will not go into this. Just now came to my mind. I heard all these things. So, advertise if you drink little alcohol. Advertise this. Yeah, make sure you advertise this to the woman, because if you don't drink or just drink less. And I don't want to judge, you know, if you are drinking alcohol or not. Don't get me wrong. I'm just conveying the facts, you know. If you drink little or nothing, advertise this. If you don't gamble, advertise this. You know, you will kick it up another notch, or you will move up very quickly in the books of these women, okay? Then if you're single, you're from the first world country, you're single, you're financially stable, you have a stable job, mention this in a smart way, don't brag, you know. And they also will ask you, what's your job? And the questions can even come, hey, how much is your salary? How high is your salary? How much money you make? And then you can share this with the girl. This is a little bit different in Western countries. We don't talk about money at all in our society in Western Europe. And also it is kind of looked down upon a little bit when Western women are only dating for the reason of money and status, you know, like the gold digging style. This is very, very frowned upon in Western nations, I know. But here in Vietnam, it's rather common, you know, that women want to know. They want to know how financially stable you are, because that's their main criteria in the selection process. Okay, so Vietnamese woman, when it just boils down to two things. Are you financially stable? Yes or no. Therefore, can you provide and fund the future family and everything? This is what they want to know. If you understand that, then you can adopt and can go ahead accordingly. Now, quickly, two more things at the end. Age gap. This is one thing. For example, in the Philippines, I think it's a little bit different. You see couples with a rather higher age gap, you know. Here in Vietnam, I personally don't see many expat couples walking around where you have like, I don't see as an old guy and a very young girl. I don't think Vietnamese women really are interested in that. This is also one major difference here. So like I say, if you are, I don't know, a playboy coming from the Philippines and want to play around in Vietnam, good luck. You're not going to be successful. And it also, I'm 45 years old, okay? I'm also in that age range now. You know, I cannot, if I run after some college girls here, for example, it might going to be very hard for me to hook up with them, right? Although nothing is impossible. All I know is that, or what I hear it also from other expats, it's rather more difficult. When you are maybe 30 years old or around 30s, then it's easier for you. But this age gap thing here is different than, for example, in Thailand or in the Philippines, okay? It's not so easy. Just or the other way around, Vietnamese women are not so much interested probably in dating older foreigners. Yeah, but you can see it's, I think, very common in Vietnam when you are, as a Vietnamese guy, you are 40 years old, you can easily date a 20-year-old girl for sure if you have money on your bank account. If she knows and understands that you can provide financially, then the money, your wealth compensates for the age gap. That's common in this culture here. And I think the same is true if you are like, I don't know, 40 years old and want to date a 20-year-old Vietnamese woman, for example, I don't know. Or if you are 50 and you want to date a 30-year-old Vietnamese woman or 35-year-old Vietnamese woman, then I think what these women think is that you have an advantage actually, because your age, these women think they know that you are not hopping around so much anymore. You know, you're not just leave and take off. You're gonna be dedicated to this woman, and this gives her the security also that that you are the guy. So this is this age gap thing. Yeah, it's a little bit different than in other Asian countries. It's not so easy, you know. If you are looking for a much younger woman. And talking about jobs, the last thing I want to mention, what I have also learned is that if you are an English teacher, don't mention it necessarily, okay? Because you're not cool when you are an English teacher. This was maybe 20 years ago, okay? When Vietnam just opened up the country, and they needed English teachers here because nobody spoke English, but English teachers are not considered, how to say, stable personalities. Not anymore. Don't ask me why that is. This is just what I've been told. So You can, if the girl asks you what is your profession, what's your job, you can say anything you want, but don't say English teacher, because English teachers, you know, the thing is also, one of the reasons is English teachers, they live in Vietnam, they stay permanently for a long time. So the woman knows, okay, this man knows his way around, he probably knows a lot of women, and he dated a few Vietnamese, or maybe a lot, and he knows the tricks of the trade and blah, blah, blah. So this is not to your advantage, okay? Vietnamese women actually prefer foreigners who are green behind their ears, yeah? The same when you are traveling, okay? I was thinking before, you know, when a woman asked me, so what are you doing in Vietnam? You're traveling or you're working here? I always thought, when I would tell her I work here, then it's better for me, because she thinks, oh, the guy is in the country and he works here, so I can date him and maybe we can move together, whatever, getting married. But actually it's the other way around. It's completely counterintuitive. Yeah. This is what I've been told, also what I've learned. So when a Vietnamese woman asks you if you are traveling or you're working here, you actually should say you are just traveling. Yeah, because she knows when you are, number one, when you are a traveler, you are considered a rich guy. Yeah, because only people who are rich, they can travel. So this is already one advantage, okay? You're not a poor English teacher who just scraping by, okay? And in English, being an English teacher or advertising being an English teacher, we're not gonna cut it anymore, guys, okay? Forget about it, okay? The girls will run, most likely. You just say you are a tourist, just tell the truth, you know? And this is my experience also. I mean, the woman I dated, they didn't run away, you know? So it seems to be true. So you are considered a rich guy because you have the funds and the money to travel, because traveling is expensive. And this is the mindset in Vietnam. If you have money, you travel. Or if you are a traveler, you have money, right? So, and that's what you should say, yeah? And the second thing is that she knows, oh, this guy is then only maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks in the country. Yeah, he will not have much time to date other women. Yeah, so this guy dated me, and now I'm gonna date him for 2 or 3 weeks, and then he will leave the country. So in one way, it's also bad because the guy disappears again. But who knows what the future will bring? So this is the mindset somehow. So, you know, I hope you found this video useful. Let me know your comments. Let me know your what you think about what I shared with you here. So conclusion, dating Vietnamese woman as a foreigner in Vietnam, yes, absolutely go for it. Vietnamese women are interested to date you, and the best place to do that is probably in Saigon, yeah, in the bigger cities in Hanoi and Saigon, near Da Nang. Also, people here are more open-minded than in other rural areas in Vietnam. Just keep in mind the things I shared with you, especially the relationship concept here. Older brother cares for younger sister. This is the frame you have to understand. And other than that, yeah, I wish you good luck. Let me know also if you are a foreigner who is married to a Vietnamese woman, or are you a foreigner who has a Vietnamese girlfriend. Let us know, how does your relationship work? Are you struggling? Is it working out perfectly? What problems you are encountering, you know, what challenges do you face? I'm interested to learn these things because I find it just fascinating also by dating Vietnamese women to find out about their culture and how these women tick. So I enrich my own life and I learn, right? So with that being said, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, thanks for liking, and of course, thanks for subscribing. If you want me to talk a little bit more about this topic in the future, if you are interested in more details about dating, then let me know. I can share this with you, but this conversation today was more general. Okay, guys, you take care, and I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Bye-bye.